In life, we have many homes. Some we are born into, some we choose, and others we discover. For me, Thailand wasn't a home I was born into or chose, but rather one that I simply discovered by chance and good fortune. I was enamored by language and culture from a very young age. I had an immense curiosity about the world and how various groups of people live their lives. I had a burning desire to see, smell, touch, and experience all the world had to offer. My journey abroad began as a teenager as I set off for Italy to get more in touch with my Italian heritage, which led me to explore much of Europe. After crossing Europe off my list, I set my sights firmly on Asia, where I was completely taken by the art, culture, languages, and seemingly completely different way of life and seeing the world. To be honest, when I decided to move to Asia, Thailand wasn't even on my radar. It wasn't even a consideration. China and Japan were really at the forefront of my mind, but I decided to be open-minded and just see what would happen. So I began my search for any opportunity that could jumpstart a new life in Asia, and Thailand was the first to answer the call. As I was packing my bags for Thailand, I thought to myself, this will be a good jumping off point. I'd stay there for a year, and then I'd pack up for China or Japan. Little did I know that 7 wonderful years of life-changing experiences in the land of smiles lay ahead of me. This is what I learned on that journey.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about today is how Thailand taught me to live below my means. When I first moved to Thailand, I moved there from the United States, and I knew this was going to be my first experience living outside of a first world country. And I knew that growing up in America and growing up in a first world country, I sort of was spoiled in a lot of ways, and I knew that living in a developing country, it was going to be a new experience for me, and I wanted to kind of get rid of these maybe bad habits that I had developed, kind of growing up and having limited experiences with the world. So what I did before I moved is I researched what life was like in Thailand, what was the economy like, how much was your average person, getting by on financially in any one given month. So what I did is I kind of researched what was the entry level for government workers. And I thought that was probably a pretty good barometer of what maybe people's typical salaries were. And I had found at the time that I believe the average government starting salary was around 8,000 baht at the time, which is around, I think, $200 a month. So when I first moved to Thailand, what I did is I challenged myself to live for 6 months on only 8,000 baht a month. And what I felt that this would do is it would really force me to kind of adopting a very, very local lifestyle and learning how to kind of, live well beyond or well below my means, I should say. So that's what I did. I moved to Thailand. I found just very basic accommodation. My first apartment, it was pretty much just one room. I didn't have any hot water. I didn't have an air conditioner. I didn't really have any amenities to speak of, just basically a bed, 4 walls, and that's pretty much all I had. I think my rent was maybe, 2,500 baht a month, something like that, maybe $75 a month. And, I would just take local buses, I would take song towels, I would eat street food every day, and I would just look for ways to really kind of save money. I would just try to observe how the local people were living. I would talk to people as much as I could. And I think this was a really great lesson for me because it really taught me how to live well below my means, and how to save a lot of money and how to still have a happy life by not, needing to have things. I think, growing up in a lot of first world countries and in the West, people are very materialistic. People are always, going out and buying and thinking that things that they purchase are going to make them happy. When in reality, it really doesn't. Just kind of the people that you have around you, the connections that you have, are the things that make you really happy in life. So by learning how to not need a lot of things in my life to keep me happy, by learning to not need a lot of creature comforts to keep me happy, I sort of learned how to be happy in life with a lot less. I learned how to budget my money, and this allowed me to do some things in my life which I think really helped to propel me to success. I was able to pay for my graduate degree. I was able to pay for my doctorate degree out of pocket with extra money that I was able to save every month. Because again, my expenses were really, really low, and this put me as a young adult off in a really good place. Somebody who didn't have debt, somebody who paid for all of their education, out of their pocket. And this is a lesson that I've kind of carried on to the future, and I've been very fiscally conservative and very responsible with my money. So I'm very, very appreciative for this lesson. The second thing that I learned in Thailand that has been very important to my life has been present moment awareness. If you've ever been to Thailand, they call Thailand the land of smiles for a reason. It's because people seem very, very happy here, with just simple things in life, just with their everyday life. People are relaxed, they're carefree, they're easygoing, and many people just seem that they don't have a care in the world. And I've really found in all my travels, I think when it comes to mindfulness or when it comes to present moment awareness, Thai people are some of the best of this in the world. I think coming from, first world countries, I think particularly Western countries, we're very, very future oriented. We're always thinking of, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. When I'm retired, I'm going to do this. And we're not really living for today. We're sort of always living for tomorrow. And in Thailand, it's much more so that people are living for the now. They're living for the present. They want to enjoy today, and they're not so worried about tomorrow. So people here, they're really living in the moment, and they're really looking to maximize their happiness in every day. And I think, there are some points where, people may feel like, oh, that can, be dangerous if I'm not planning for the future. If something bad happens, like what's going on now with the world, maybe I'm not going to be prepared. But I think, in moderation, it's really a beautiful thing to teach yourself. And what I learned here is to try to balance that a bit. I think before I moved to Thailand, I was always thinking way too far in the future. I was, 20 some years old, and I'm thinking about, well, what's it going to be like when I'm 65 years old? And, maybe now I'm still thinking, 5 years in the future, but I think I have learned to appreciate things in the present moment a lot more, appreciate, the beauty of my surroundings, and, to not get wrapped up too much in getting so far ahead of myself that I kind of neglect the beauty that surrounds me now. And I think that's something that Thailand really helped me to see. Don't have this constant, focus and just always be oriented towards the future. Take each day as it comes, and, try to find beauty and happiness in each day. And honestly, it's really helped me to become a happier and much more well-adjusted person. So the next thing that I learned living in Thailand is how to focus on what you can control. So Thailand is, as you know, probably is a very big Buddhist country. And I think part of, the Buddhist mentality is only focusing your energy and your time and your thoughts on things that you are directly in control of, and things that we cannot directly influence, things that we cannot directly change, just allowing those thoughts to kind of leave your mind. And Thai people are really great at this. They do a really good job of just, looking at their lives and seeing, okay, these are the things that I can affect. These are the things that I can affect. If I can have an effect on it, I'll work at it. I'll try to change it. I'll attack it. I'll go after it. But if I can't, just let it go. Don't worry about it. I mean, think of, I am a person who worries, all the time, but all the time that we spend worrying, all the time that we spend, losing sleep over all these things that we have hanging over our minds, the reality is it doesn't do us any good. It's not helpful. It's not youthful. So living here, I really, became more aware of that. It's still hard. It's still a struggle, but I gained a much greater awareness of trying to focus more and just train my mind slowly over time to just be able to let certain things go. And I would say, probably personally, my personal life, I still struggle with this a lot, but I think particularly professionally, I have been able to train myself over the years to really let things go and to not really care about and not bring things home with me from work. And that's something, the groundwork for that really started in Thailand, and learning that lesson about just sort of that mindfulness and focusing on the things that we can control and letting the things that we can't control, just letting it go. And it's just beyond us. So again, another really great lesson that, has stuck with me for a very long time. And the final thing that I learned in Thailand is just how to get better emotional control. I think, Western people, sometimes we can be very emotional, particularly, I have Italian heritage, and Italians were known to be, quite hot-blooded and emotional and really, kind of reactionary. And I was really like that. Growing up, I was very hot-headed. I was quick to get angry. But when I came to Thailand, it was the first time that these sort of big emotions, they're really, really frowned upon. Like in Thailand, there's this concept of face. And here, a loss of face is probably one of the worst things that could happen. Your face, losing face is basically getting publicly embarrassed. And anybody who kind of just outwardly, shows their emotions, or someone who shows their anger, these people are really looked down upon. They're looked at as childish. They're looked at as, incredibly rude. And it can get yourself into a serious situation. I mean, you could, be the target of violence here. I mean, if you go out there and you're outwardly showing your anger, people may attack you. They may be that offended, and it does happen. You see cases of foreigners coming to Thailand and, getting angry and, getting the hell beat out of them, getting stabbed. I mean, crazy things. It does happen. So when I came here, I kind of realized, like, wow, this is really socially unacceptable behavior here. And so it kind of forced me to sort of look at my own behavior and decide, what, this is time for a change. There's really no need to have these, big, huge emotions. And it kind of helped me to become, more patient. It helped me to kind of be calm and relax myself and just be more aware of, my body language, my voice, maybe my facial expressions. And again, I think it helped me to gain a lot more self-awareness, and I think that this helped me to live in greater harmony in Asia. It made me more successful in Thailand, and it made me, more successful in the future when I moved to Japan as well. So again, this was a really great lesson for me living in Thailand. So that's about it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoy the content. I'd really like to hear from you if you guys have had a chance to live in Thailand. What are some of the things that you've learned living in Thailand? If you traveled here, is there something kind of culturally that you noticed that you like, that you appreciated? And again, if not Thailand, maybe somewhere else that you visited recently that you sort of were able to take a cultural lesson and adopt it to you, and it allowed you to evolve as a person. I'd really love to hear that from you guys in the comment section below. And guys, I'd really appreciate it if you enjoyed this video to go ahead and give it a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell. It really does help out the channel and allow more people to kind of take advantage of the content here. So if you can do that, guys, would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, guys, take it easy.